don't go public with it right away. Don't. Don't share all of your trauma with everyone. Find a trusted person that you can share what's going on with, okay? I would prefer that be a counselor or a spiritual leader, someone that you know that your confidence is going to be kept. It's really important that you feel safe during your trauma recovery. So if you don't have anyone, call our office, 719-278-3708. We have both counselors and coaches who are trained specifically in partner betrayal trauma. You won't be talking to anyone who hasn't gone through over 40 hours of training and 6 months of supervision with me. And I've been working with partners with betrayal trauma for almost 40 years. So I've worked with over 5,000 women plus men who've been betrayed through infidelity, intimacy anorexia, and pornography addiction. So the trauma is real. How you cope with it, that's up to you. This is the analogy I've used for many years with my clients is, you got shot. You're not the sniper. You didn't pull the trigger. Your spouse did, or your partner did. They're the ones who shot you, but you now have that bullet inside of you. And now you are responsible to get that bullet out. So the first thing is you want to feel safe. You want to be with intelligent people. Number two, you want to be with people who really understand the partner betrayal trauma, because there are some parts of the fields of sexual addiction that will call you a co-addict, who will give you partial responsibility or say that you have some part of the dynamic of their behavior. Now, I've done over 5,000 assessments on men who are sex addicts, who've done infidelity or have intimacy anorexia issues. And all those issues were prior to marriage. So you're not a part of that problem. You did not cause the problem. Okay, now if you have intimacy anorexia and you're creating pain, okay, that creates the pain, but doesn't create what they did as a solution. Just like if you come from a dysfunctional family, one person might become an alcoholic, one person might become an overachiever. You're still responsible for how you respond to dysfunction. So the person who has created the sexual addiction in their own life, or chose infidelity, or chose to close off and withhold spiritual, emotional, and sexual intimacy from you, is responsible 100% for their behavior. But now how you deal with it, first of all, find intelligent help. Now, there is materials, get education. That's a very important part for you to get educated on the trauma that's happened. I've worked with so many thousands of women before we've even had some of this data, and they would talk about their symptoms, and it almost seemed anecdotal. But now we know scientifically that it is legitimately trauma, that these women are different women. They're not the woman before the car wreck. They are the woman after the car wreck. And they respond differently. And their PTSD symptoms can last up to a year or even longer. The intrusive thoughts, the not feeling motivated, the wanting to pull away from people, all those symptoms that they tell me, thousands of women told me, I'm not myself. I'm not the lively woman I used to be. I'm not the fun person I used to be. I'm depressed, I'm angry, I'm hurt, and I'm not me. And that's valid. But there's a way to gain that back. So get education. I would recommend the Partner Betrayal Trauma book first, or the video. Some people like to watch videos, and you can download it right now. You can go to partnerbetrayaltrauma.org, and you can download all this stuff. And the first book on partners was Partners Healing from His Addiction. A lot of statistics on women who are dealing with people with sex addiction. And so, but you'll find that the statistics are very similar. Oddly enough, even though the books are, I think, about a decade apart, the actual damage is very similar in each study. So you need to get information. Find out about that. If he has a sex addiction, read the Final Freedom book. If he has intimacy anorexia, read Intimacy Anorexia book, and read Married and Alone. Get educated. Then pick a track. If you're dealing with sexual addiction, I would do the Partner Recovery Workbook. And if you're doing the trauma, if you're really stuck in trauma, then do the Partner Betrayal Trauma Workbook and Step Book. These materials will help you. Now, yes, you can do them alone in your room, and you can process that as much as you can by yourself. But I'm going to tell you something that's going to make a big difference for you. Get in a group. Now, there's not a lot of partners groups in every city. You might be able to find some. But if you call our office, we have phone groups, and there's about 40 or 50 of these women's groups that you can get into. Okay, get 6 or 8 women who understand what you're talking about. They're working through the same materials, having to deal with their anger, their grief, boundaries, all that kind of stuff. They may have a husband who's mature and doing recovery, or one who's immature and not doing recovery, but you will feel supported and you won't feel blamed in any way for their behavior. But you can work through your workbook. You can get insight from their journey as well as your own. And there's something about group that I can tell you, you will heal at least 4 to 6 times faster than if you don't have a group. And the women I've seen be the most successful are the ones who take full responsibility for the bull. Say, okay, I'm shot. My job to get better. If he gets better, great. I'm going to do the workbooks. I'm going to do the group. And if you do that 6 months really hard, you're going to be way ahead of the curve. And the rest of your life, you won't be suffering nearly as many of the consequences as if you just kind of, well, I'll go to counseling once in a while and, I can deal with this, it's not a big deal. And you go into denial. It is a big deal. Getting shot's a big deal. Getting run over by an 18-wheeler is a big deal.